Guys, I'm trembling. I just signed my first poster. I just signed my first poster, and I didn't think it'd be that big a deal, but I started like shaking and crying a little bit, and here it is, the very first poster I have ever signed, and I'm going to be putting it up on the Etsy shop to sell because people have been asking for posters, and I thought, what better way to try to kick that off than signing some, because I really sincerely love being able to physically touch and physically transmit something that I have done or touched or created to people who want things from me, because I feel like it adds such a special extra dimension, and I can't believe I did that. I had to stop and just like have a moment, and I know that's silly, and I hope it doesn't come off as self-centered. It just is something I never thought that I would do, and now I'm really excited because it's something super special that hopefully I'll be able to give to someone, and it will mean a lot to them. I have signed posters from YouTubers that I really enjoy, and I thought that it was so awesome, but somehow I didn't think I'd ever like cross that line, and now that I have, I don't know, I feel really shy and kind of embarrassed, and like, should I even like make this available? But I probably should, or else I'm going to have 50 posters sitting in my house. And I told Chips I'm really nervous nobody will want them, even though I think they're amazing. I mean, they're beautiful. They are so beautiful, and I got permission from Eric to sell them. Eric is our artist. I have the big version up behind me on my wall. Behind that is the old version of the poster too. I might do like a retro poster and sign those one day too. And I could easily, much more easily, sell these to people a little bit cheaper too. The cost goes up when I have to ship them to my house and then ship them again. So I could sell them a lot easier to people if I didn't like get them and sign them first, but I just wanted that first moment to be something special. And I just really, that's why I love having an Etsy store and why I want to start creating for it again, because if people want those kinds of things, I love being able to know that I at least touched that thing and handled it and gave it to somebody, like from my hands literally to theirs. And that's why I can't wait to have time to focus on trying to make crafts to sell on the Etsy shop. And when we go to Taiwan, I actually want to spend time in the markets looking for little jade figures and things that I could give away as gifts, or I could sell on the Etsy again. Man, I just want to create things. We've actually been looking up craft shops in Taipei to be able to go to so that I can create things and ship them from Taiwan to people around the world. And I just signed my first poster, and I really like that my feeling about it is like just this sense of happiness that it's going to be something from my hands to theirs, and that's what makes me so excited about it. So I need to sign many more of them, and then I need to pull myself together and make a video about it after I make today's niche. I'm already wearing my DNA earrings so that I can get today's niche off and going. And then I'm going to try to pull myself together and kind of have a little sit down chat vlog with you guys, just to let you know how it's been going after the last weekend. Opening up that snail mail a few days ago really has just changed everything, and my heart feels so light. I feel back to normal and stronger than ever, and I want to talk about those things with you guys and how our preparations for the trip to Taiwan are coming. And I just signed my first posters and I really hope I can keep pushing forward. This is something I don't think I would have done if the ad issues hadn't started last month and I had to start looking at alternative ways to support the channel, and thus me and my family and our community. And so I got into this, and I don't think I would have done that without April being so bumpy. And I hope I can keep pushing into different directions, trying new and different things, and maybe along the way I'll find ways to really experience new things and just explore new places and do new things with our community while I'm doing that. So I'm in a really happy place thinking about this, and just really grateful that instead of like, woohoo, look at my posters, somebody gets my signature, I'm instead like actually shaking a little bit, excited and hopeful that from my hand to theirs thing will be something successful. And If not, then I told Chips I hope he's prepared to have like 50 posters in the house that are just me and my signatures, and he burst out laughing and said he doesn't think that'll happen. So we'll have to see if this little limited edition run does anything, and even if it doesn't, I'm glad that I really gave it a try so that I could put it out there just to make it available. It kind of reminds me how nervous I was a long time ago opening the P.O. box. So, I guess that's a good lesson in trying out all sorts of different avenues because you have no idea where they're going to take you. Guys, oh my gosh, I'm crying because I'm so happy. I'm still shaking because it was such a nice thing to do. So Chips knows how nervous I've been about the posters, and I kept going in and I practiced my signature so many times on cardboard to make sure it looked kind of nice, and I kept showing him, is this high enough? Should I make this big enough? And do you really think anyone will want these? Like, I know people say they do, but do you think people will really want them? And I just like was so nervous about the posters, right? Well, I finally listed it on Etsy and I showed it to him and I was like, you think this is good? And he was like, yeah, this is good. And so then I finished it, and I just finished recording the video to explain that it's gonna go up on Etsy, and I haven't even published the link yet. And I went to look just to make sure everything was okay before I record the niche and get that out and then get the video about the posters out. And Chips bought the first poster. He bought my very first poster, and at first I was like, what? But then I realized it's because he knew I was so nervous about it and that I would hope someone would want one. And so he knew that I was hopeful for that. And then I went down and I was like already in tears, and I was like, darling, thank you. It's ridiculous, we live in the same house. So it's like, what? He's insisting on giving me the money for the poster, and I'll just take him out to lunch and we'll go get something yummy and some delicious vegan cupcakes. But I went down and he's like, you were really nervous if someone would want your posters, and I want your first poster so I can frame it and put it on my wall in my office. I mean, there's one that's even bigger in my office right here that you could see anytime, but he wanted my very first ever signed poster, so he bought it, and I just love him so much. And I'm just a very emotional person when I'm happy, and I'm only crying because that was just so nice, and I love him so much, and he's always supporting me, and he's always just always doing his best for me to be happy with what I do, no matter what the results are. I remember when I first lost my job at the flower farm because it was seasonal, and I was so nervous about what to do, and I was on the cusp of thinking about trying YouTube full-time, and that was only 3 years ago. And Chips told me he didn't care how much money I brought in, and we would make it work, and he's a hard worker, and he is, and that if I was home, and even if it didn't result in any money, but if I was creating and I was happy about it and I was fulfilled, challenging myself, growing as a person, being able to do good in the world as a result, and that's all he wanted. He's been cheering me on. He's the biggest force behind this channel, honestly, because without him none of this would have been possible. And I just I told him, the feeling I have in my heart right now, the best way I can describe it is, how do you write just one sentence worth of something happened in a joy journal that you feel like should fill half the thing with just the intensity of the emotions you feel? And he's amazing. And don't be alarmed if I'm crying. I am very emotional when I'm really happy. You guys have seen that again and again, and I just am blown away by his thoughtfulness, and I love him so much. And I get to go to Taiwan with this man, and I get to travel the world with him, and one day I hope I can talk about how we got here and became these kinds of people, because it isn't just him. We worked to become the relationship we are, and I love him. I love this. I love it. And he bought my very first poster, and he insisted on paying me, so. Okay, the poster vlog is up, so hopefully people will be excited and we will manage to send some on to new homes. And I'm finally eating lunch. It's probably like 5 or something like that, but it's bright and beautiful out here. So much greenery. We've had lots of little chipmunks show up down here and gather all of the seeds we leave out and rush off to store them elsewhere. So I'm gonna sit down and have one of my delicious honey, no, it's not honey because we're vegan, it's hickory. There we go. Hickory smoked deli slices with the lettuce and the vegan mayo, and then we've got the delicious secret ingredient, those toasted coconuts, and a fresh orange. Huh, finally time to eat. Hi, Ozzy. Yeah, it's nice to see you. Oh, Ozzy's purring, darling. Oh, look at that. Oh, is that a good belly? Is that a good little chin rub? Oh, thank you, darling. Look at that stretch. I think Ozzy's a happy kitty. A good neighborhood kitty. Our nice little neighborhood. I want to remember it when we're in Taiwan, yeah? Mm-hmm. It's your favorite kitty. What do we call this one?
Cinnamon was really good too. Cinnamon was A+.
I like torty mixes like this though. And she's got that affection that you really like, but Cinnamon talks a little. I think I like cats that just talk a teeny bit. Like Fritz. Are you gonna go get lap time? Yeah. What a good day. 2 kitties. Well, technically 3 kitties, but the Siamese never comes for pets. Oh my gosh. This is so ridiculously delicious. I'm so happy right now. Okay, you guys, I have to tell you about how the posters have been going over the last couple days because, oh my goodness, that is just enough to make me cry and babble for forever, and I really want to be able to show you guys the vlog of who ordered the very first poster tonight. So I need to do a little update bit telling you guys how it's gone and how it's affected me, and oh, I'm gonna start crying if I think about it right now. But before you cry, you have to eat, and to eat tonight, because Chips and I had dentist appointments today and we both got 3 fillings each and we weren't feeling our best, I thought, oh, I should just order something in tonight. It's splurgy, but I'm just really not feeling good. I'm feeling a lot better because I took some more pain medicine, but at the moment when we ordered the food we were both feeling pretty miserable until I saw the baby raccoons, and I think that's actually the moment when the pain disappeared because of sheer excitement. But anyway, we ordered some food tonight. Chip suggested a new Chinese restaurant that he's gone to with his cohorts before, and they have some vegan bits and pieces, so they actually forgot half our order, so we probably won't be ordering from them again. But we got some mushroom and I think it's like kale dumplings, which I haven't had yet, and scallion pancakes, which Chips has always talked about how delicious the scallion pancakes are, and when he lived in China he would eat them, or 2 pineapples a day depending on like what was the cheapest. But the scallion pancakes, I just had my first one. It's amazingly good. It's pretty greasy, so I immediately bit into it and went, can we have this for breakfast every day? It's so yummy. And Chips laughed and was like, no, it won't gain so much weight. But we'll probably be eating it pretty often. I would walk around the neighborhood for ages if it meant I could have some of that sometimes, because oh my gosh, that's delicious. And I'm gonna have my very first dumpling because he says these dumplings are really good. And he's had a lot of authentic Chinese dumplings, so he knows. So let's see. If this is a hint of what it's going to be like in Taiwan in a little over a week, this is so good. This is going to be awesome. That was really delicious. And now I am having a little bit of dessert with some of my green tea. This is actually my Kansas City Zoo mug. You guys haven't seen the bit of the vlog from the Kansas City Zoo just yet over on the main channel, but this is something that I got with my sister when I was visiting her in Kansas City, and that was so much fun. And it has my Kyoto green tea in it. I love that tea because it has this delicious roasted rice in it, and you can hear that's Osei Jr. chirping in the background now and then. The birds are in snoozy perch and they are ready for bed, but occasionally they'll still kind of chirp and whistle, like talking themselves to sleep, and it's the cutest thing. And then also for dessert, I have some blood oranges and some regular oranges. Oh, Osei, hi! It's okay, baby. You can go to bed. I'll turn the lights off in just a second. He's so tired. But I have some oranges all sliced up, and Chips gave me half of his blood orange so I could mix it together and make it all pretty. And I told him that I should take a picture and put it on Instagram, and he rolled his eyes so hard. It was really cute. But actually in China, a traditional dessert after you have something delicious to eat is an orange. And we just typically do that in our home anyway, because I think oranges are delicious, and I'm so happy. That's where we're shifting gears to be able to tell you guys it's been unbelievable. I cannot believe the response to the posters. I didn't think that they'd be something that people would be willing to get, and I had no idea how amazing it would feel to know that it would be that special for that many people, and I could do that and share that for that many people, give them something that they're so excited about and that are so special to them. And I had no idea this is how it would feel. I always thought, and forgive me, I really did think this, and it's so ridiculous because I have signed posters from some of my favorite YouTubers. Some of them are in my closet. I need to find them and put them up again sometime, but I mean, I have them, but I guess I always thought, like, if I signed a poster, it would be kind of egotistical. And instead, I have been getting so many messages from so many people who are so thrilled and excited, or just so happy to have a way to support me and our community. And I feel like I'm eating humble pie in a good way, like non-stop, and just so grateful and so relieved that venture wasn't a complete flop, and Chips and I don't just have like a stack of 50 posters shoved in a closet somewhere in our house. And every time I walk past his office now, I get to see my very first ever signed poster up on his wall, and he has nothing in his room. He is the 100% opposite of me. You see how I have every surface covered with something, and bits and trinkets and pictures. Chips lives the minimalistic Zen lifestyle down to a T. He has 2 family pictures. He has his degrees that I made him put on the wall because, you know, a couple masters is nothing to shake a stick at. And I even had to like get a frame for them and make him put them on the wall. And he's got several bookshelves crammed full of hundreds of books in all sorts of languages that he has to study for his career and his language practice, and nothing else. Everything else in his office are trinkets that I've given him over the years. An amethyst chunk that I found when I was doing one of those find your own gym things with my parents when they visited us that one time in North Carolina. Their first and only vacation they've taken so far in 30 years of marriage now. And you know, he's got an amethyst chunk. He has some Viva Pinata little clay figures that I made for him when we were first dating. He even has a little love note I wrote him that was just like, oh, I had such a wonderful time on our 3rd date. I loved going to the Woolly Worm Festival. I would love to hang out again. And it was just like this little note that I gave him at one point, just really quickly as like a thank you for something. And those are like the only things he has in his office. He doesn't like clutter. He doesn't like stuff on his walls. And so now the biggest thing I see when I walk past his office into mine is my first signed poster up right above his desk, right next to him all day long on his wall. And that kind of support from my family and my loved ones, and then from our community. Oh my gosh, I didn't know this was the end result. I thought maybe a few people would think that was kind of a cool idea, and instead of just a few people, it's been almost 100 people. I ordered more posters just because I had messages from kids who like sold out in less than 3 hours, and I had these heartbroken messages from younger viewers who had just gotten home and they had their birthday in a couple days, and their parents said of course, and just as they went to fill in the information they were sold out. And so I rush ordered more posters, and they're going to be here in a couple days, and I'll sign them, and I need more tubes, and I have tubes all over my room now, and posters that carefully like triple gentle put up so that nothing will happen to them and they'll stay in pristine condition. And I can't order more because they're limited edition clearly, and I'm also leaving for Taiwan, and it's just, oh my gosh, I don't know how to say it without seeming super egotistical, so I'm nervous, but I had no idea that something like that would be something that so many people would be bouncing off the walls excited about, or just happy to do, to give me like a pat on the back and to help out. And it's definitely helped out. I had a dentist appointment today, right? And my mom's money is due for her nurse that she has go to take care of her in her home. And I was checking out. I have really bad teeth because my family has genetically less enamel than most people, and so even if I maintain them, I get cavities very easily. And I've already maxed out our insurance for the year, and it's really nice insurance that Chip's got for us through the university. But I was paying after the painful drill job and the like 8 shots I had to have, and I was paying for my health and my well-being, and I wasn't nervous because I knew there was that support coming, and it put me at so much ease. It clicked. Isn't that the most surreal moment to click? Well, your face is half blown up and you can't feel it, and I'm handing over my card to the cheerful, adorable receptionist with perfect white teeth, and I wasn't nervous. I put off getting a shattered tooth fixed for almost 6 years because things like dental insurance and enough money to take care of those things didn't exist for me until recently. And so it hit me paying for my health and well-being to make sure my teeth are in order before we leave for Taiwan, and now they're going to be in order for years because this was the last set of cavities that needed filled. That it's going to be okay, that I'm not throwing myself into a scary situation because that support from the posters is coming, that support from community members who wanted what they consider something very special. And that's where I'm at. And then I'm reading these notes from people, and it's just like, here's one that I just got like a couple minutes ago, and it's a fan mail note from someone, and it just says, "Hey Seri, I just ordered the poster you recently put out. Second I learned about it, I used all my birthday money to buy that poster. I'm just so hyped to get it. You're my favorite YouTuber, and my mom loves you too. She adores how much you care about nature. I showed her one of your videos, and she was so happy that there was finally a kid-friendly, nature-loving, super kind-looking YouTuber. When I told her about your bird, sorry to bring this up again, she cried with me. We felt so bad for you. Well, let's look past that now. I can't wait to get the poster. Oh, I'm also making some art for you, so please be on the lookout. It will be a package from Minnesota." Oh my gosh. And then the notes, there's actual just notes everywhere. It was surreal enough to turn around and people are, I thought people would, I don't know. Is it a confidence thing? It's a confidence thing as an artist, I guess, or whatever I am. A joy artist is what I like to say I am. But there's something different about getting in front of my microphone and playing Minecraft, and that's different than being able to hand someone a physical something. And I had no idea how excited I would be about that either. I was rolling the posters up and putting them in the tubes tonight, and I just kept staring at them. And I've done that a million times before because my family has always, in some level, all of the women of my family have somehow run their own business from an art standpoint, and I can talk about that in another ramble vlog. But I was rolling it up and I was thinking how surreal it was that I grew up doing this to help with my grandparents and my mother's business that they ran from their home. But then I was holding each of these poster tubes, and it felt like I had the most amazing treasure in my hands. Not because it's like, oh, I signed this inside, but because I knew that giving this to someone, sending it to them, is gonna make so many people happy. They're gonna open it and they're gonna be happy. And every one of these tubes that are currently like carefully stacked in a corner in my office right now, those are gonna be things that people are gonna open, and they're gonna be just as excited as I get when I get things from the artists that I love on Etsy, or when I got my posters. I was so blown away. I went out and I got like frames for it and put it on my wall, and I've rewatched all of the favorite series that I loved from those people, and so that's why it feels like, just knowing to give so many people something that's gonna make them as happy as I was then. That's what this is all about. Not just in physical tokens. And that's my sister. I'm sorry. You probably hear her messages and I need to talk with her. She's been cheering me on behind the scenes this whole time. But it's not just the physical tokens, and it's definitely not the sales part of it that's really blowing my mind. It's just, I love making people happy. When I describe myself as a YouTuber, I consider myself, and I've mentioned this, and it's a little embarrassing to say out loud sometimes. Well, not really, just to the world at large, maybe. But I think about what I do now as being a joy artist. I try to create authentic joy from my heart, or silliness, or creativity, or excitement, and find a way to weave it out of my heart into something tangible and palatable, and something that other people can get that emotion and put it into themselves from. That's what I love about this, and I think that's why the posters have me so happy, because I remember how happy I was opening those, and I'm just so excited that, and unbelievably blown away that I can give that to other people too. So that's where I am on that. I've rambled enough, and who knows how long it's going to be when I put all of the video together. Oh my gosh, I need to stop talking, except everyone always tells me just don't worry about rambling. But tomorrow, Chips and I are going on a date. Like I said, he brought my first poster, so I want to take him out to get some cupcakes. And I mean, yeah, that's the thing to have after you have a dental appointment, right? But we're also going out to get more poster tubes. We're going to make sure we pick up the fan mail from the P.O. box. And we're going to get flowers from the farmer's market. We're going to enjoy the beauty of what Michigan has to offer for the last moments of spring, like the raccoon babies we found tonight that I just made a Wild Discoveries vlog for. And we're going to savor it because there's just 7 days left, guys. And then it's time to go to Taiwan. For the first time, and I'm going to do absolutely my best, like more my best than I've ever my bested before, to do daily vlogs and hopefully some special vlogs and Wild Discovery vlogs on top of the space stuff that we'll be doing on the main channel at that time too. And don't worry, I'm trying to space it all out, no pun intended, so that I won't overwhelm myself too quickly, but I am very excited. So this is going to be fantastic, and thank you. Thank you guys. Like I said, at the dentist, I just felt so calm. With my mom's nursing stuff, I felt calmer. I wasn't scary this month having to look at those kinds of financial jumps. I'm still getting used to paying for the nursing bit, and it's a bit of a surprise, but I'm used to paying my student loan bill every month, and now that those are gone, it's okay for this to take its place by far. And I just wasn't nervous, and I wasn't scared about it, and I'm so happy to give joy to people. And I think in the future I definitely am going to try to find a lot more avenues I can do that in. And I'm definitely going to make sure I try to take better care of myself and my energy so that I have that joy stamina to give. Alright, I'm going to see what my sister wants. I'll have to show you guys the adorable pin that she snuck sent me and put on my little pin board. I'll explain the pin board later. So thank you all so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.